Welcome to Monkey's World. I have, like I said in the Daily Journal, a crap ton of wrestling news. Okay. I just wrote the cliff notes because if I had written everything out, it would have taken up the whole dang rest of the notebook. So I wrote the cliff notes version of what I want to talk about. Triple H, Stephanie, and John Cena have all been accused of things, sexual improprieties, I guess. Triple H is accused of cheating with a female wrestler. I can't remember what her name was. Stephanie was accused of cheating with a male wrestler, and it's been reported that Triple H paid for his wife's divorce attorney. Yikes. All involved NDAs or non-disclosure agreements. Cena is accused of doing something with a male wrestler. I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to leave the male wrestler's name out of it. We don't know the name of the person with Stephanie. But I'm going to leave the male wrestler's name out of it. I've forgotten the female wrestler in Triple H's case. She's more of a newer girl. She's not one of the girls they worked with when they worked on screen. Now, all of this came out on Rene Dupree's Cafe de Rene podcast. Every former wrestler has a podcast these days. I will say that I'm impressed because both Becky Lynch and Kevin Owens were asked about the Vince McMahon situation. They both said it's awful, it's disgusting, and they were very upfront with that, and I was shocked because they work for the company. But technically Vince doesn't. Now, there are rumors rumbling around, no pun intended, that TKO which is it's the company well, Endeavor runs WWE, UFC, and their whole merger thing. But I guess TKO is also one of the parent companies. I don't know how it works, but it's saying that they're going to clean house of all of Vince's people. That Triple H, Michael P.S. Hayes, and Bruce Pritchard will all go bye-bye. I'm not sure I believe that, honestly. I'm going to do the two deaths last. Chris Jericho has been accused of something. Apparently, it was said that Kylie Rae was supposed to come to his room and there were supposed to be other people there. This is when she first joined AEW about 4 years ago. She asked for her release right after. And he was the only one there. Supposedly made a pass at her. She flipped out. She left, and she asked for her release. First of all, if all he did was make a pass at her, and nothing physical happened, and he didn't force anything on her, first of all, why would there be an NDA? Secondly, where's the crime? And yes, full disclosure, I love Chris Jericho. Now, goodness gracious. Again, on Cafe de Rene, they said that Jericho used to sleep with other wrestlers' girlfriends back in Canada. Well, that's funny, except that According to Jericho's book, Jericho didn't lose his virginity until he was in Mexico at age 22. And this is when he, I don't know, but the timing just seems weird. Now, I'm going to be straight up with you, okay? Chris Jericho, still a decent looking guy. He is getting older. And it's showing, unfortunately. But he was always absolutely gorgeous. And had he chosen, could have had any woman he wanted. Now, I'm not that kind of girl, okay? You know, I believe in the right person, you know? I don't believe in just doing those sorts of things. Just because, you know what I mean? But if you are the kind of girl that does, you know, you could have had any girl you wanted. Pretty easily. If they were so inclined. Which again, I'm not. I believe in waiting for the right person. I'm not one of these girls that, and there are a lot of girls, they're called groupies, or in wrestling they're called rats, who would, or ring rats, go out of their way to sleep with a wrestler just to say they did. No. Sorry. Even if he is gorgeous, the answer is no. And that report also goes against what Jericho said in his book when he talked about when he met his now wife of almost 24 years, that he wouldn't ask her out if she was planning on going out with Raven that night. You just don't do that. And so I don't know. I don't think Renee's lying. I think that is what he was told. Could there have been some jealousy amongst the other guys because Chris was freaking hot? Probably. I'm not doubting that a bit. And somebody in the comments said, well, if your wife is willing to sleep with him, or your girlfriend rather, then obviously she didn't care that much about you, which was an excellent point, by the way. Here's a funny one for you. Monday night at Raw, in one of the rooms backstage, there's Miz and a couple other guys. So Miz goes live on his Instagram because he thinks the whole thing is amusing. He's actually a really nice guy, and which came clearly across on this. He wasn't upset. He said, it's a good thing I'm not claustrophobic. He said, I closed the door. I didn't know lock didn't work. He said, when I closed the door when we came in the room, it locked. Can't open it from this side, can't open it from the other side. We got Monday Night Raw in a few hours, and I'm locked in a room. That was such a cute video because he was just so relaxed. He said, I can hear a bunch of minds out there saying this, that, the other, are rather going to try to do this, and it's still not working. And there were a couple other people in the room with him because he was talking to the other people who were in the room with him. But I just thought that was funny and some much needed levity, especially before we go into who died 2 days in a row. You know what they say, it always comes in threes, so let's see who dies next. The first one was 82, so at least he lived, well, he was 81, but he would have been 82 this year. Then the other one was only 61. But anyway, yeah, that was pretty funny. You could hear him outside the door, like, and Mike goes, I don't have a screwdriver to take off the handle. Evidently all the screws were on the inside. I don't have a screwdriver to, or a hammer and a nail to pop the hinges up, because evidently all that stuff was on the inside, which is how my bathroom door is laid out. The screws for the door handles on the inside, the hinges are on the inside. So guess what? I keep a screwdriver under my sink, which I've shown you in a previous video, because I have gotten locked in bathrooms twice. Actually, 3 times. Twice was in one day, but 3 times. So, over at my other house, I almost never closed the door, and I had a window. That I could just easily throw in a rope, step out the window, onto the porch, and go back in the house, and take care of it from the outside. Not a big deal. But here, I don't have a window, which I hate. We did not have a window the first place in Manchog. We did not have a window in the second place in Manchog. We did have a window in Northbridge, and we did have a window in Douglas. In Northbridge, the window went right out into the screen porch, and in Douglas, it went right out to the backyard. So, and yes, my window is open because it's a beautiful day. I opened it last night and I left it here in the living room. So if you hear extra traffic, that's what it is. Just trying to get some air, fresh air from my immune system. So anyway, first time I got stuck in a bathroom, I was maybe 3, and maybe 4, stuck my arm down the tub drain, because it had just been redone for my aunt. She lived across the driveway from us, and I got my arm caught. I had my arm cleaned up to here in the drain. I wanted to know what was down there. I was little, and I'm calling for help. My father's like, unlock the door. I'm like, I can't, I'm stuck. What do you mean you're stuck? I'm stuck in the shower. WTF? That had to be what he was thinking. So, luckily, the hinges were on the outside, so he was able to just pop the hinges and take the door off. Then he came in and he pulled my arm out, and the landlord was absolutely horrified. So first of all, the screen for that shower is going in, like, right away. Second, I can't leave a door like that where a kid can lock themselves in and not be able to get out. It's all a safety concern. So, the time I got locked in 2 bathrooms in the same day. I was at women's group, or actually, yeah. And I went into the bathroom. Well, the bathroom door was broken. I couldn't get it open. And there's no windows. So I'm like banging on the door, and one of the men comes by. I'm like, it's stuck. And he's like, it happens. And they got a screwdriver and they rescued me. Then, that very same day, I go to a casino in Lincoln, Rhode Island. I'm in a stall. Stall will not unlock. So I crawled under the stall, gross as that is. I went and got an employee and told them that stall was locked. It refuses to unlock. I had to crawl underneath it to escape. So yeah, I've been there, Miz. I've been there. It's not fun. So that is why I keep a screwdriver, and I showed it to you. It's actually probably worth money because it's an old giveaway from Duracell batteries. Um, it's the size of a AA battery with a screwdriver in the end of it, and you can pull this screwdriver out and flip it over so it becomes a flathead or a Phillips head screwdriver, and it just goes back in magnetically into the little hole. So it's not going to fall out while you're fiddling with it, but it is both a Phillips and a flat. And like I said, it was a giveaway. I wonder how many people lost that part at some point and just have the little battery part or the little screwdriver part. But it's probably worth money, because it was one of those promotional giveaways. You bought a package of AA batteries, you got a free screwdriver. So we've had it for 30 years. Yeah, probably close to 30 years because it had to be in the 90s. And that's the one I chose to put in there because of its size and its uniqueness. Easy to spot because it throws a battery, for crying out loud. So that's why I do that. So anyway, the two wrestlers who have passed away. First off, yesterday, Ole Anderson, age 81, passed away. Almost 82, because he was born in 1942. Ole was a legend. That was not his real name. His real name was Rudkowski. Or Rudkowski. And he was incredible. His promos were intelligent, scary, moody, just some of the best ever. If you're teaching people how to do wrestling promos, there are only a couple of wrestlers I can think of you need to show them when you're teaching promos. Okay? Here's my list. Ole, Flair, Dusty, Jericho, and Piper. Not in any particular order. Those are the big five, though, when it comes to promos. And different styles of promos. They're all very different styles of promos. So, the other wrestler who passed away has been sick for a while. He had dementia. And you know what? Even though I don't like him one little bit, it's still sad for his family. And that was Virgil. Real name Michael Jones. I don't like him. I've talked about it. For those of you who may not have seen that, I met him in person. And I went up to him to get his autograph. This is a little independent event. I had paper to get autographs, and he was so nasty to me about buying a picture and whatnot. And apparently he did the same thing to Hulk Hogan's daughter. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so, like, he told her, $25 for a picture, $30 if you want it signed. I don't care whose daughter you are. It's like, OMG. Really? Anyway, in my case, he was just nasty. In fact, I went back to my friend. I said, I can't believe he wouldn't sign a piece of paper. That's what he was there for. He was there to help that promotion, you know. When guys who are well known in the business go to an indie, it's usually to help the indie, um, you know, to help them grow. um, it was ridiculous. My friend, try that again. Flying Brian Walsh was there. He was a wrestler. This was New England Indies. And the first place I met Brian was at Killer Kowalski's promotion. He was actually trained by Killer. And he, I adored him. In fact, they took me around backstage. Well, we were in a baseball field, but down over to the stairs where they had the locker rooms set up, and had him come down and meet with me. And him and I became pen pals. I used to write to him at the address at Kowalski's school, and he used to write to me. I remember that Christmas getting a card from him with a long letter inside, and I still have that actually. I remember when I got it, I was sick as a dog. And I was sitting, I had gotten one of those, you know, those tables that fold flat, and then you can stand them up, and you can, and they have a little bar underneath, and you can kind of lean them so you can draw. I had just gotten one of those for Christmas, and I was drawing it. I was so sick. That's what I think I'm going to get for out here. You can change the height, and you can change the direction of the thing. I think it'll be better for this chair. That's what I'm going to do. And the feet slide under. So, anyway, I'll have to go look for that. So yeah, I had that. And I just remember that letter making me feel so much better, even though I felt so crappy. But Virgil was so nasty. So nasty he left me crying. And that particular night, for some reason, I was really sick. Like, stomach sick for some reason. I don't know why. I ended up going outside and vomiting. I'm trying to remember if this was... No, this was before chemo. Anyway, I think it was drainage from my head making me sick. But I'm running outside and throwing up over the guardrail. At the school we were at. My friend ran out. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. And my friend didn't even try to get an autograph. He didn't even try. Most of the wrestlers were willing to sign my papers. The ladies' champion was wonderful. The only time that she even got upset, and her name was Jamie West, was when a bunch of kids took her title belt and were running around with it. Hey, bring that back here. And I was standing there with her at the time, and she was signing my autograph, and she was so kind. Because I went through the line, and they all signed. And my pad, they didn't care. And the thing is, half of the money they make is from selling their pictures and their whatever. So for them to be willing to sign an autograph for nothing, when they're not in the position that he's in, that he could easily afford to. The Barbarian was also there, by the way. I couldn't get anywhere near him. It's the Warlord of the Barbarian. I think it was the Barbarian. My friend and I, after Virgil was such a moron, my friend and I sat there and watched the Barbarian in the ring taking pictures with bunches of little kids and stuff. And neither one of us wanted to interfere whatsoever, because he was having a ball, the kids were having a ball. And no. You know what, let the little kids have their time with the Barbarian. And so I never got anywhere near him, but he was a sweetheart. And I've actually heard that about both of them. So, and I'm not the only one that thought Virgil was a complete jerk. As a matter of fact, a little bit later when he was wrestling, he kept giving my friend and I dirty looks, and he spat on the floor right in front of my friend's feet. It was disgusting. Now you ask, why do I care that he died? Well, he was still a human being. And I'm a Christian, okay? I don't forget. That doesn't mean I don't forgive. Because I do. I forgive him. But I'm not going to forget what you did. And I'm certainly not going to try again. But I can forgive you because I know God does. And I'm certainly not going to contribute to your GoFundMe when you've seen more money in your life than I'll ever see in my life. Where did it all go? Excuse me. He was 61. He had dementia. He had had several strokes. He was in the hospital. He passed away. And I am sincerely sorry for his family, because they have suffered a loss, and I'm sure he loved them, and I'm sure they loved him. And just so you know, his name was poking fun at Dusty Rhodes, because Dusty Rhodes' real name was Rachel Runnels. So when he went to WCW, they made him Vincent, making fun of Vince McMahon. I guess turnabout's fair play, huh? Thank you for joining me for a crap ton of wrestling news. It took us about a half hour to do. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.